today's training is on why you need to understand your nervous system as a yoga teacher, therapist, coach, or body worker. Why is it important for our work and for our life? This is a subject that is so dear to my heart, because when I work with yoga teachers, when I deliver trainings for trauma-informed yoga and embodied resilience, when I support others, this is something that comes up again and again. And for me, this is the key that sometimes is missing in our work as practitioners. So if you keep hitting burnout, if you keep hitting feast of famine cycles in your business, if you keep procrastinating, if when you start really going deeply into developing your business and supporting others into your serving, you start hitting health issues, this is the training for you. I really would encourage you to watch this training. So what do I mean by that? Let's just unpick it a little bit. So the first thing for me, when I think about the reason why you need to understand your nervous system as a practitioner, is that our work is about supporting others. But it all starts with us, because we don't leave ourselves out of it. I don't leave myself outside of the door when I come and work with you. When I teach a class, or I do one-to-one, or I run a retreat, I don't leave myself out there with all my troubles, with all my challenges, with all my family issues, with all my health issues. So number one, why we need to really pay attention to our nervous system and get to know ourselves, is that we always show up as we are. We always bring the wholeness of our experience, our inner experience, and how we're relating to others, how we're showing up. We always bring the wholeness of ourselves to everything that we do. And so understanding your triggers, understanding when you go into, you shift from this connected, stable, present space into overactivation of the nervous system, into fight or flight. And I'm not just talking in response to something and then coming down, but really staying in that zone, staying in anxiety, anxiety that then impacts your sleep, impacts your digestion, impacts, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your work, how you feel about your world, how you feel about your relationships, how you're showing up. So either fight or flight, when you start going maybe on a bit of a defensive, or maybe when you go into even further into people pleasing, because it feels like you really need to be in a certain kind of way in order to be accepted, in order to belong, in order to have clients. So really note, or go into a freeze mode. You go into procrastination, into hiding, into not being able to move forward. So really understanding yourself, understanding how your nervous system is, how it responds to different people, to different situations, how it shows up for you in any given moment. So this can come in so many different ways. So for example, one of the things that you might not be aware of is that when you decide to grow, you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to step forward. You have to go into the unknown, into something that you haven't done before, into showing up in a different kind of way. And there are two ways, two things that come up with it. One is, I don't know what to do. I literally don't know what to do. Like, I don't know the process. I don't know the system. I don't know. So I'm here. I want to be over there, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. And when I think about it, I just don't have the system. I need to learn. I need to have a mentor. I need to sign up for a program. I need to be shown the step by step. But that's only part of you. The second part is our internal programs that are running, our protectors. I call them safe protectors, the classical ones that we all know, the inner critic, the imposter, the people pleaser. All of those then step in. Okay, I want, because of our past experiences, because of our beliefs, and our history, and what feels safe. So if we then, we come from, I don't know what to do, into, oh, I'm signing up for this program. I know what to do. Like, this person has given me step-by-step thing. I know what to do. And I'm following it, and I'm really moving forward. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. I'm doing it. Then the other thing comes in. The protectors, the safe protectors, might step in and say, but that feels too much. That feels unsafe. And so the thoughts, the feelings, the doubt come up to keep us safe. Those protectors, those parts of us just want to keep us safe. This feels unsafe, stepping out. And it can come, as I said, in a form of thoughts and feelings, like having lots of doubts, being very critical, then into the behavior of procrastinating. But it could take a different form. And it's very fascinating when I see that, because I experienced that myself. Your body, the protectors use often the body. The body can start stopping you from going at that pace because something within you feels unsafe. So you could have an injury. I've experienced injury when I was pushing forward and I was stepping out and I was creating business, and then I had a shoulder injury. I lost completely power in my right hand. I couldn't do anything for 5 or 6 weeks. And that was because I was just pushing through, trying to do it through the power of my mind and motivation, forgetting that I have to go at my own pace. I have to keep checking in with myself and my nervous system. I have to come from a safe place and going at the pace that feels right for me, stepping outside of the comfort zone that is right for me. And I've seen other people, doing the same. Suddenly, there is some kind of injury, which means that we have to stop or we have to slow down. The protectors, our safe protectors, have used our body because it felt too unsafe to be doing it. The other thing that might happen is in the environment. I remember signing up for this program. That was about 7 years ago, when I was still working in social care, and I cut down to 4 days a week. And I had this one day to work on my business and really building something, stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I remember it's like I was really struggling. It was really emotional, and the systems were great, but I just had so much inner resistance. And I remember our ceiling in the kitchen fell in. And I remember it was like a last straw of something in me saying, that's it, I can't do it, this is too much. So it could be within the body, it could be in the environment. Something will slow you down because you're not tuning in to your nervous system. You're not seeing what are the needs that are unwitnessed, unacknowledged. Something feels really unsafe. And so there will be that resistance. There will be this two energies or more energies pulling in or pushing in different directions. So really, number one is to understand yourself. Understand yourself, your nervous system, the patterns that are running within you, how they manifest within your inner experience, within your body, within your action, those decisions and choices that you make. And all of it is so we can then expand the window of our own tolerance. We become a bigger container, stronger, more stable container for ourselves, our experience, for our work, and then moving into serving others. So we move from I understand myself, these are my triggers, this is the best way that I work, this is my rhythm, this is how I grow. I keep checking in, I keep feeling safe, coming back to the internal sense of safety. And then from that space, I become a bigger container so I can bring in more abundance. So I can bring in more, abundance as more clients or creating new systems, new courses, new offerings that really give something impactful to your students and your clients. Become a bigger container. And then moving from that bigger container, that more grounded, stable, embodied space to serve others and to serve with love, serve from this abundant space, and really making a bigger impact in the world. And by impact, I mean, I don't mean in the just business sense, I'm reaching lots of people, but really making an impact, positive impact, healing and growth for everybody that you work with, because you show up from this stable, grounded, embodied space, curious, compassionate, connected. We all know, I'm sure you know, I definitely know how it feels to show up from the space of lack, from a space of, oh my God, I'm really struggling, I'm really pushing, I'm really desperate. I need to bring some clients. I need to work with some more clients because I need to bring some more money, because I need to pay my mortgage. Otherwise, I have to choose to go and work in social care again, or whatever work that you've done before. And it's so important that we take care of ourselves. And from that connected, embodied space, we serve others, serve with love, serve with compassion, with passion, with purpose. And then we can follow our own path. Not the path that other people said that we need to follow. And when I say the path, I talk about our lifestyle, I talk the way that we live, where we live, how we live, about our business. How do we create our business that is best for our nervous system? We all are very different. If you are introverted, maybe going on a stage and talking to lots of people can be really challenging. But maybe you could do it in a different way. Something else might feel more aligned, like creating online courses, like supporting others in a different way, whether it's group or one-to-one. Or maybe you love going on the stage. Maybe you are, very happy being center of attention in a way where there's spotlight on you and you are, sharing your wisdom and sharing your knowledge and sharing your passion. We all are very different. So, for example, and this is so important, if you're going to go long term, if you're going to create something sustainable and you're going to earn money from it to support yourself, where you don't want to have another job that you earn money from, that pays for your life, for your family, for your health. So from my own experience, how that can I can share my own experience here. So when I left social care 6 years ago, I was teaching from our studio. We had a little studio in our town, And it was really busy. I was teaching maybe 12 classes a week, group classes, and then doing lots of one-to-ones. And that was building up, and that was really great. But I also have got a background in training. And, I trained and supervised and mentored and managed people for almost 20 years. And that part, I really love it. And so I wanted to continue doing something like that. And a friend of mine had a training company where she was employing trainers to work with apprentices around UK. And I was really interested and I really loved it. And, these are young people, young adults that got loads of vibrancy. They're quite quirky, quite cheeky. They got loads of energy, and I loved working with them. But the trainings were, in Birmingham, in Sheffield. So we're talking about 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours drive, or going on the train through London. I live in Kent on the coast. So it was going through London and then going up there. And sometimes staying for 2 or 3 days. And I loved it. I loved delivering the training. I was teaching them about a different way of thinking, about mindfulness, about doing more embodied stuff and really feeling more stable and grounded. And it was exactly what I love. But the traveling was a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm quite a home girl. I love being at home. I suffered from anxiety. So my nervous system can get triggered quite easily, not as easily these days because I know inner resources of how to manage it, but it can get triggered by too much movement. If you want to go by doshas, I switch into vata, very ungrounded, very in my mind, very in the anxiety state. I have to work quite strongly to ground and be present. So a lot of movement like that was very challenging. And I also find it quite challenging to sleep in a new place, like a hotel where I don't know people and I don't know anything. It takes me a couple of days to settle down. So by the time, if I was going somewhere for 2 or 3 days, by the time I settled down, I was coming back. And I also was trying to run the studio and teach in the studio and have a consistency of working on it every week with clients. And then it started really, I had those needs that were being challenged by traveling a lot. And initially they were giving me times and days that I was happy to do on the days that I was not running classes and I was keeping it free. And then they started switching it around. And so, to the point that I couldn't go the night before. I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready, get the earliest train, go down there, teach, and sometimes come back on the same day. And that was just too much as an ongoing thing. So even though I was doing something that I absolutely love, which is the training and working with young adults and, training and mentoring them, and I loved it, the way that it was structured, it was not working for me because then I had to cancel my classes. If I needed to go there, I had to travel, as I said, very early in the morning, deliver the training and come back. So I was exhausted and my nervous system was just being so overstimulated by all of it. And I remember the last straw was when I missed the train, just by a few minutes, missed the train that I needed to take from my town. And that meant that I was late for the next train, for the changeover in London. Then that meant that I arrived too late. I was half an hour late for starting of the training, which then meant I couldn't settle down. I couldn't arrive and ground myself well enough. And that was the last straw and I had to leave, which I was very sad about, but it just wasn't aligned with the best way that I worked. And I had to listen to my nervous system. I had to really pay attention and acknowledge that I could continue doing it and continue earning quite all right money for doing it. But actually, I wanted to run the studio. I wanted to work with my clients and students. I wanted to grow my own business. That was my path to be happy and healthy and well. I wanted to follow that. So I had to say no to this thing in order to be able to follow my path. And, if I stayed, I would have been in a very different place. So understanding your own nervous system is so important for those three things. As I said, one is to really understand yourself. What are your triggers? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? How can you self-regulate best? What inner practices you can do again and again to really help you feel grounded and present and compassionate. So you create bigger window of tolerance for yourself. You become a bigger container. You can hold more and you can offer more. And that takes you to the second point. You support others and you serve with love and from that connected, embodied, and strong space. And number three, so you can create and follow your own path, your own way. It doesn't matter that lots of other teachers or other practitioners are doing it in this way. If it doesn't work for you, find another way. It's a myth that there is only one way to teach yoga or one way to create a successful business. I've seen so many different people doing it their own way. And that's when it's embodied. That's when it's self-leadership. That's when it's authentic because it comes from you, from how you are, who you are, and how you serve best for the benefit of all. And when I say for the benefit of all, I mean your community, your students, your clients, your family, your loved ones, and yourself. You don't exclude yourself from benefit of all. So I hope that makes sense. I'd love to hear what you think about it, whether you had any insights around it, whether something came up for you, maybe something new, maybe a different perspective, or maybe something that you knew, but you forgot, which often happens for us. We know something and then it kind of drifts away and life gets busy and we forget about it. So let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think if you've got any insights. And let's keep having those conversations, as I said, for the benefit of all.